work our way down to these top 5 individuals again and the intermediate. And I really like the way they do the show here in terms of starting out with senior showmanship first. Allows the intermediates and the juniors to watch them. I try to not throw too many tricks out here. I think showmanship is extremely important, but I think a lot of it's common sense. We can make it a little too difficult at times. I think it's important that you always keep in the back of your mind, for those of you that are juniors out here, it's all about how your sheep looks. So if you're leading that sheep out and he's not cooperating, you're having to jerk on his neck and pull his neck out at a totally different angle, and you're having to drag him, switch back to the other side. And some people did that. And I really didn't probably count you off much for that, because I think that's using your head. I think always be aware how your lamb's presented. Good evaluators and good judges, first thing they see is you walk in. It's not the brace, it's the walking part. If you present your lamb on the move correctly, they usually can evaluate it. It's only going to affect you when you get down to maybe the top end of things if you have a good one. So always be aware of the fact that presentation is the most important thing. So switching sides and all that, certainly showmanship is important. But presenting your lamb correctly is the most important thing. We get down to these two young ladies out here, and I think, again, that both of them are extremely smooth. So smooth at times they almost get lost a little bit because they're not quite as maybe intense as some of the other ones out here. I think that's a balance between intensity and effort and smoothness. That's why I said earlier some people might have a different opinion of which one's going to win. But these two young ladies have enough intensity to get there extremely smooth. The lambs are almost always perfect in terms of feet and leg placement, in terms of balance and eye peel. I think they do an extremely good job of that. I think it's extremely close between both of them. Just like with the intermediates, I think it comes down to which one of them maybe just gets a little bit more out of that lamb. And I think for me today, the young lady here in the back does that just a notch better. She'll be your champion. Young lady here, extremely smooth. I just like for you to get just a little more out of the lower leg on that lamb. Both of you young ladies do an outstanding job. Congratulations to both of you. The next young lady, I think, also does an extremely good job, especially in stuff in terms of the neck placement, the levelness of the head. She's a little bit of a taller. Well, actually, all 4 here are pretty tall young ladies. But she gets down, gets the right placement to her feet and legs, and therefore that lamb is set up correctly, balances correctly for me. Probably in terms of just smooth up a little bit, in terms of your movement, slow down just a little bit. I think that would help you as well. Same thing with the young lady that comes in 4th. That lamb always looks pretty good on the profile and stuff. Probably just relax a little bit. Don't be quite as intense. But again, that's for me today. I think you do an outstanding job in most areas, so congratulations to you. We wind up the class back here, the young man that I think is extremely aware of what's going on around him out here. I really appreciate that. I never caught him lost. I never caught him not paying attention to me. For him today, it was probably just feet and leg placement a little bit. You need to be aware of your back legs when they get a little far out. Same way on the profile, if they get a little too close. I realize that's getting awful picky. That young man does an outstanding job as well. Congratulations to all these exhibitors. Great job to all you juniors.
So congratulations to our Junior Showman Champion, Reese Turman, our Reserve Junior Showman, Kenzie Hoekstra, 3rd place, Emma Woods, 4th, Emily Ward, and 5th place, Austin Bow. Congratulations to all the Junior Showmen.
how square made both of them are, how opened up they are from front to rear in terms of capacity. Both of them very muscular. I think it probably comes down to just maybe some little things in particular. The lightweight one is one that when you get your hands on that view, she's one that's very shapely. She handles extremely fresh and very correct in terms of her muscle tone. And she's one that opens up really wide out through her hip and her dot. And we get on the top side of the one that wins the next class, and that's one that is extremely wide, maybe a notch better in terms of coming out of his blade into his rib, in terms of being opened up, maybe not quite as shapely, but certainly one that's still muscular in terms of thickness. I think it's pretty close between the two of them. Give them a round of applause, and I'll select your champion.
This is your first call for the first class junior championship. Please start making your way to ringside.
Right? It's the first one you said. Chase Everett.
So your champion of the Whiteface Weather Dam U is Reagan Martinez, followed by reserve of the Whiteface Weather Dam U is Chase Everett. Congratulations to both.
been a very competitive class. Everyone come in a little late here, but in the final analysis, she was going to end up third, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute anyway. But nonetheless, when we get here to the top two, I think that's where it's very competitive here is in the top two holes of this particular class. And I swapped them back and forth in my mind as I analyzed them out here and studied them for a while. And certainly some give and take between the two of them. I think the sheep that's going to win the class is just a little more three-dimensional for me out here in terms of when you get in front of her, behind her, over the top side of her. I think she's just a notch wider from front to rear, more opened up on the top side. And I understand she's got a little more condition on her. But when you study her from a skeletal standpoint and squareness standpoint to the ground, I think that she's just more opened up and square to the ground and more three-dimensional as I compare it to the sheep that comes in second. I'll certainly tell you the sheep that's in second has got a high degree of skeletal quality. I love this sheep when we put her in a motion out. Neat her chest force stays up in her. How good she stays down her top line. She's perfectly level out through her dock. And what you see is what you get in this particular ewe lamb. She has no extra condition on her whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I'd like to see a little more on her. I think that would help the situation out here in terms of comparing them. But I think that's a really good, exceptional female that comes in second, just not as opened up through her chest all the way back as a sheep that wins the class. The muscular sheep of the five of them out here is the one that comes in third. Certainly the one that's probably as heavy boned and big-footed as anything out here. She just gets a little too short-sighted, a little shorter coupled in comparison to the two that stand above her. She's definitely a muscular sheep with a lot of shape. One, again, that I would just like to lengthen her out when you get her on the profile, lengthen her out when you get your hands on her in terms of length of loin and hind saddle. But one, again, that you can certainly appreciate her substance and her muscularity as you compare her to the other sheep out here. We get on to fourth and fifth down here. And those particular ewe lambs, I think both just don't have the skeletal quality that the sheep that are running above them today. I think both of them are sheep that I'd like to level out through their dock and certainly give them a shot of muscle to make them more competitive out here. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
In first place in Class 3.
A really fun class here to evaluate in this particular blackface weather downs. I think all three of these, even all five of them, have got some extremely good things about them, all the way down through the classes and quality in here. Certainly for me, the one that starts the class is the most complete one. I think that one is hard to make in terms of skeletal quality. She's extremely good in terms of the way her neck comes up out of her blades and levels down her top line out through her dock. She's neat in her chest forward. What's intriguing to me is you get around in front of her and behind her and you see, and on the top side of her, and you study how wide and opened up she is. She has got a lot of capacity to her, and yet when you get her on the profile, she balances so well, and she's so smooth-made, and yet she's very muscular. I think she's a really nice one. The sheep that comes in second, I think, is very nice as well. This sheep's not as smooth down her top line as the sheep that wins the class, but one, again, that I think as you compare her to the sheep that comes in third, she's square down her top. She's more opened up as she progresses back through her dock and out through her pin. I just think, again, she's more similar in terms of center body width and opened up to our class winner, and that's the differences between second and third, is she's just simply more opened up and square to the ground. The sheep that comes in third, again, one that you really have to appreciate the length of body that she has in her, the levelness that she shows us when she's on the profile. Put her into motion, she's not as good in terms of her chest forward and the way she carries herself around here. But one, again, and I think in terms of her levelness, her substance, her balance, and one that's still got some muscularity, just like to open her up in comparison to the sheep that's standing above her today. The sheep that comes in fourth is one, again, that I probably like, again, on the profile. I think when it comes right down to it, that particular sheep just plays out in the lower one-third of her leg, just doesn't have enough shape and the volume of muscle when you get behind her, and even when you're on the profile. You'd like to give her a shot of muscle in the lower part of her leg, and I think she could run right up there with our class winner. Just plays out in terms of that lower leg for me. The sheep that we round out the class with, she's kind of intriguing to me. When you get on the top side of her, she's one, again, that's really opened up wide, probably handles with as wide a loin as anything out here, very fresh to the touch. You get her on the profile, I think she's one of the lighter boned sheep out here, smaller footed one, and she's certainly one that doesn't balance up quite as well as the sheep standing in front of her today. She's tighter in her flank, she doesn't balance quite as well, but again, I think a very competitive one. A very good class, let's give them a round of applause.
First place in Class 4, Weather Dam Blackface U, goes to Macy Meads. Second, Casey Walker. Now entering the ring will be Class 5, Weather Dam Blackface U. Class 6, Weather Dam Blackface U, please come to the ring side.
Slow down. It ain't a race, Sackman.
Well,
Chill now.
that's mine and ours.
Well, the judge, we don't know if he gets tortilla towels.
He gets, I'm pretty sure he gets
This is lettuce and tomato and shit.
I'm just gonna set this. First class. Did anybody want their kids?
Oh, yeah, fancy.
What do you want? What kind?
Whatever kind. Whatever.
Are they gonna
Do we eat first before the judge? Is that okay?
yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
I mean,
Someone
we're
told me
eating
to.
muffins.
Okay.
Quick reminder to all exhibitors, please be ready by ringside at least one class before yours. Thank you.
Guys, to be honest,
This is class 5. Can we eat now or no?
No, we're waiting till the judge has his
Okay.
food.
Just want to make sure. No, I thought that's what someone said, but then
Is this the new? Is this
Yes.
market?
Yes.
Do you guys see this corgi puppy?
I know. There's so many corgis around here. Also, I really like that girl. It's like Serape.
Sure.
That is so
Wow.
What?
So that's like
kudos to her.
What?
Hair.
Well, we can have some soup for you. If you like one.
Hey,
I mean, not actually. Go.
hey Megan. Your face is right in this.
This is the second call for Class 6, Weatherdam Blackface U. Class 6, Weatherdam Blackface U, please come to ringside.
That sounded a little whiny. I gotta amp it up a little bit. Yeah.
Do you mind writing these first two classes on it? Do you do that? I didn't tell her to do that.
Those are the slow cut placings. If you want more than that, take it.
Well, they only get payments of 5. I'm pretty sure. So that's all.
We would like to give a shout out to C&N Tractors. With over 70 years of experience, our goal is to see what you are fitted with the best possible combination of tractors and implements. Whatever your needs are, you will experience the satisfaction of having the right equipment to complete your work in a timely manner. Thank you, C&N Tractor, for supplying Western Bonanza with all of our equipment this weekend.
What is going on here?
I don't think this is gonna be able to do it one reason.
You can take 2 seconds and do it. You know what I mean? This is comical. These people are like, what are you doing? This is common. Where's the judges?
It's on its way. But I don't want to be there. That's like such bad. I'm not doing that. No. Oh, I have an update. Megan Newswater needs to be added to class 7.
Where is out here?
I can spell it for you if you want. 3874 Megan N-G-A-N Newswander N-E-U-S-C-H-W-A-N-D-E-R
N-U.
Oh, sorry. N-E-U-S-C-H-W-A-N-D-E-R 119 pounds. You need the backpack number? No.
It's hard. It's hard. Deets. Do you know this guy? Deets.
This is the final call for Class 6, Weather Dam Blackface U. Class 6, Weather Dam Blackface U, please make your way to the ringside.
Autry. I don't know. You already have Boston. Do you know who the guy in the blue sweater is? Yeah, it's Kyler Renner. It's Dr. Renner. It's Dr. Renner. Is it? Okay. So now that's your second. Oh no,
class 6 make an announcement for Carrie and Is everyone here?
Who's third?
She's just over here with a dog. Carrie McMahon?
Can Carrie McMahon please make her way to ringside? Carrie McMahon.
She's right here. Hey, do you know who, wait, never mind.
Well, another really competitive class out here, and certainly some differences all the way down through here. Top end, two different kinds of sheep here. I'll be the first one to tell you. I think the one that's going to make a really good show sheep, but also a good brood view, is the one that starts the class. You know, when I study her and analyze her, I mean, when you finally get down to the end of it, is she's just more to her from front to rear, top to bottom. She's more opened up on her top side. She's square and more opened up on the bottom side as well at the ground. And yet when you get her on the profile and you put her into motion, I think she holds herself together. She's certainly not as good fronted and up-fronted as the sheep that comes in behind her in second. That sheep is so intriguing in terms of when you get her out in motion and how she runs uphill the whole time she's walking, and how good she is in terms of her feet and legs. She's just one that I like to just blow her apart from front to rear. And then I think she's going to be really tough to get around. I've studied her for a long time. I think I just like to add some more width from front to rear to make her the kind of sheep that I really like to see her. But two nice individuals, certainly different here on the top end of the class, but both of them extremely good in their own right. Third place sheep is one that, you know, foot and bone's not everything. I certainly think when you've got it, it's important. But when you've got this much quality that we have in our third place sheep, I don't think that I'm going to roll her at the bottom just because she's not as heavy boned as some of the sheep out here. She's as square to the ground, wide as anything out here. Not just in terms of her feet and leg placement, but she's as wide through her chest, opened up through her center body. She's as wide on the top side as anything out here. And the final, and she handles extremely good as well. The final analysis, I think I got to add some more substance to her, but we're certainly not going to bury her because of that. That's a very nice sheep that comes in third. We get on down into the fourth and fifth, and I think our fourth place sheep just gets a notch plainer in overall makeup and design. I think she gets a little lower in her front, just a little coarser looking when I stand out here and I analyze them. I think she's one that I'd like to make a little bit neater through her front, but certainly one is going to make a nice brood view. One is very thick and very wide. Just like to give her a shot of look to make her a little more competitive out here in this particular class. We'll round out the class with a sheep that I initially thought was real similar to our sheep that was in second. The longer I analyze this sheep and evaluate her on the profile, she gets a little tighter in her flank. She certainly got the length of body. She's certainly up fronted. I just like to balance her up and make her a little more proportional as I compare her to the sheep above her today. But a very competitive class. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
In first place for Class 5, Weather Dam Blackface U, is Kaylee Rumba. Second place is Kyler Vernon, followed by Maddie Cummings, Paige Autry, and Tyler Dietz. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be Class 6, Weather Dam Blackface U. Class 7, Weather Dam Blackface U. Please make your way to the ringside. Class 7.
Congratulations to
So whatever your yeah, no worries. I haven't even looked at class Thank you. Oh, to put it on the I know it's dumb. But it's better than So you guys know during market he needs to place every single class all the way out. So if you don't have placings for the whole thing,
I can just announce the top 5.
yeah, the top 2 from every class.
Oh, for these big classes, I've been doing the top 5 because he's been pulling classes.
Well, he lines them up top 5 in the ring, so I think it's okay to do top 5.
But in the market divisions, like in the
There's just so many market classes.
yeah,
Like top 3.
just like on each division, just the top 2, because the top 2 are the only 2 that come back to like the supreme. All right, I'm gonna say this.
Well, but in the class, you need to place them all the way down.
Yes, but I'm saying just say on the microphone the top 2. Carlin McMahon scratched from this class. Is that what that is? Carrie.
Carrie, she scratched
No,
from this
I'm
class.
looking at a different class. Sorry.
Would you call?
Yeah. When we go to market, just say the top 2 for each class.
Could you do? What's that class for class 8?
Yeah,
Everyone's here for class
it'll be
6.
class 7. This is class 6.
Oh, you're right. Did you do a first call for class 8? You're on top of it. I love it.
In case a parent comes up to me.
This is your second call for Class 7, Weather Dam Blackface U. Class 7, Weather Dam Blackface U. Please make your way to ringside.
So have one of your gals who need to walk away. Where everyone's walking.
Yeah, no.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. This is my cheeseburger.
I don't think we're allowed to eat it.
No, you can't eat until judges.
I'm literally so fucking starving.
That's really
I can't eat till when?
until the judge eats.
Then why did you give me food?
I didn't give it to you.
Well, why did they bring me food?
You know, actually, I don't think they did bring you food. I think they brought
No, they did. They did.
Like I'm in the 4th fucking grade.
class, what makes it challenging, and I'm just going to be perfectly honest, too much paint, too much wool on the front legs for me. I would take it down. I would elevate that sheep. I know black paint helps sometimes, but too much I don't think helps either. And certainly too much wool above that knee to be a lot of times makes them look just a touch off. Really like how opened up she is. I think she's going to make a great breed ewe yet. From a skeletal standpoint, I love how from the base of her neck, where she ties into her shoulder blade all the way out to her dot, she's perfectly level. She's good in her underline. She's still good in her chest floor to have that much squareness and thickness. Tremendous amount of muscle in her. I just like to change those particular fitting things, and that's just me on a personal level. For me, it made it a little bit challenging, but I think, again, squareness on the top side skeleton, squareness at the ground, that's a very nice sheep that wins the class. The sheep that comes in second is another challenging one from the aspect of is this sheep as opened up as the sheep that wins the class? Absolutely not. But I think this sheep's three-dimensional enough. I think this sheep's carrying a lot less condition than our class winner is. I think this sheep, in terms of you studying her on the move, she's square at the ground, she's wide at the ground, she's got as much hip and dimension out through her hip and rump as anything out here. She carries herself away from you the same way from the top of her rump and hip all the way to the ground, yet she's good body. I'd probably level her out through her dot and just widen her up a notch from front to rear. I think that's a really good sheep right there that comes in second, and one again that maybe long term makes a really, really good one. The sheep that comes in third set up, I really like her. I like the length of body. Again, I like her levelness down the top line, how parallel she is in her underline. She balances up real well. My issue with her is when she does go into motion on the move, doesn't carry herself as well, drops down in that chest floor and doesn't hold her neck the way she does when she's set up. The young lady's got her set up very nicely there. I'd like to change her on the move. We get down here fourth and fifth, and I think there's some give and take. In my opinion, the blue view is just a more dimensional view in terms of being opened up again from front to rear and top to bottom. But she's one again that if I could change her, I'd certainly change her. She tracks away from me. I think she's probably the narrowest based one out here. I'd change her in terms of her hip-loin junction and square up and smooth her up there. Again, she looks like she's got a lot of condition. She's not that bad. But she's certainly one on the top side of her. She's really got a lot to her. It's the bottom side I'd like to change her. But the young man down there does a great job of showing this particular rear end. She's one that patterns out extremely good out here on the profile. I think, again, as you compare it with the four that stand in front of her, there's just not as much to her in terms of dimension from front to rear and squareness again at the ground. And when you get in that last one-third, out through her pin set and the lower portion of the leg. Again, not as much dimension as the sheep standing in front of me today, but a certainly good pattern one. A very competitive class. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
Place in Class 7 is Reagan Martinez, followed by Stephen Ludman, Fallon Grigani, Julia Hernandez, and Blake Morgan. Congratulations.
again, a super competitive class with these block-face weather dams. I think one that pretty much just overwhelms the class in terms of what I like to see in one. I mean, again, she's as a smooth maid as anything out here. She's as up-fronted as anything out here. And yet, when you get over the top side of her and study her, she's as massive as anything out here. Maybe not quite as shapely coming out of her blades into a rack as the shoe gets in second. But again, I think in terms of total completeness, one that's a show lamb and one that's still going to make a brood use. She's got the capacity. That's an extremely good one right there that wins this particular class. Not taking anything away from the young man sheep here that comes in second. I think that's a very nice sheep as well. Not as neat in terms of being elevated through the front end, but again, when you take that kind of muscle and substance and power and combine it with enough look like that, I think that's an extremely good sheep that comes in second behind a very good one in first. Third place sheep, again, I think that's a good one as well. Really like the squareness when you get around in front of that sheep in terms of squareness and width through the chest and all the way to the ground. Same thing off the back end. Probably, to me, probably doesn't handle quite as square down his top line as the two sheep in front of him today, but again, or her. But again, that's a really good ewe. It's going to make a great one later on down the road, and it's a good one today as well. We work our way down in here into a fourth and fifth, and I think the fourth place sheep just gets a little bit plainer for me in terms of just muscle shape and a sheep that maybe just gets a little bit forced out in terms of last 1/3 in comparison to the sheep above him today. But again, a sheep that I think has enough eye appeal, enough levelness, and enough quality to get up here in the top end of the class. Run out the class of the sheep that I'd certainly like to lengthen out in terms of body, but the young lady does a good job of showing it. One that's really wide from front to rear. One that I, again, just like to lengthen out and smooth up and probably give just a notch better touch to it today in comparison to sheep above them. But again, a very good class. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
I corrected you for what?
And in Class 8, we have first, Catherine Bain, second, Chase Everett, third, Paige Autry, followed by Sydney Edwards and Emily Ward.
overall look. A sheep, again, it's not as round-bodied and not as opened up as the sheep that are standing in front of today. The young lady does a really good job of sticking this sheep. A sheep, again, when you get over the top side and you study her, she's not as square out through her pins and her pin and her dock as the sheep that's standing in front of her today. And again, one that I don't think is as round-bodied. We'll round out the class here. Again, this young lady does a really good job of showing this ewe lamb. Again, I think it's one that gets rougher down the top line. A sheep that maybe when you put her into motion, she's certainly not square the ground as I'd like to see her when she goes away from you. And again, she's one who's not as powerful, but a sheep that, again, as I compare to the sheep below her here, probably puts it together in a more complete package. Again, congratulations to all these exhibitors.
Okay, coming in first and second in Class 9 is Reagan Martinez, followed by Blake Morgan, Chancelyn Johnson, and Madison Woods. Congratulations. Entering the ring now is Class 10, Weatherdam Blackface U. Following this will be our championship for Blackface Weatherdam U. Following that will be our Supreme.
I'm trying not to be super relaxed because I really read my voice.
Results from the last championship ride, the 2018 Western Bonanza Grand Champion Prospectville is Morgan Riley, and your winner Prospectville is Reese Herman. Good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Again, a really challenging class here in terms of the way I want to line them up. If I could combine these two sheep, I'd have one I really wanted. We could take the front 1/3 of the sheep in second and stick it on the sheep that's winning the class with the last 1/3, then we'd have a really good one because I love the front end and the body and the sheep that's in second. I love the last 1/3 of this sheep, but I think this sheep's acceptable enough. He certainly does a great job of sticking at you and gets her stuck. I think she looks the part. She still handles really good. I like to change her when I put her into motion. She's not as round bodied. She's maybe not as opened up through the center portion of her as the sheep that's in second. But I think there's more of her from her last year back in comparison to the sheep that's in second. Sheep in second, I think, is a real intriguing kind of a view. I love her on the profile. Again, it's that last 1/3, that lower portion of her leg, that without pure pin in her dock that I'd like to change.
How's interesting?
Her front 1/3 maybe is as good as anything we've seen today in terms of being one that's extremely wide-chested, but yet the blades went into the rib cage extremely good. So muscular on the top side behind coming out of those blades. Just like to change that last 1/3 in the sheep that comes in second. The sheep that's going to be third here is one again that I like a lot of things about her. I think she's similar to our sheep in second in terms of her body, in terms of her chest and her rib. I think she's one again that I just flat like to change her in terms of her structure. Her feet and legs need to be changed for me to get any higher. And I'm not just talking in terms of bone and foot size. I'm talking in terms of the way she places into the ground. She narrows up. She's the narrowest one of the top 4 out here. The young lady that comes in fourth, the hampier looking ewe, one again that I think is similar in kind, just plays out in terms of balance and eye feel, and especially when I get my hands on top of her, she's not as muscular and shapely as the sheep that are out here above her today, but I think one that has some quality. Round out the class with the young lady over here with fifth, one that's very muscular, one that I think, again, we're in the heavy class, they're getting heavier, they're getting more mature, but she just gets a little deeper in terms of the chest, she's shorter in terms of the length of body, she's shorter coupled, but one that's certainly very muscular. Congratulations. excellent show quality. Even some of the younger ones went down the road, and the ones that are heavier and more mature are certainly going to make some really good brood views and produce good show lambs. I think I'm not going to sit here and go, agonize about it, because I think there's one individual out here again that's really hard to make, and one that when you make them this good in terms of skeletal quality, sheep that are this attractive on the profile, but balance this good, and then when you get over the top side and you see how muscular they are, and you see how powerful they are, and you watch them track away from you, watch them come at you, those kind of hard to make, and then we add that eye ring, that show ring look to them, and I think you have a really good one. So there's one out here that I think just combines things extremely well for me today. Congratulations, these exhibitors, and I'll select your champion blackface weather down.
Catherine Vane. That's what he gets for, what is this? Just so the judge can talk.
For her, she's so muscular coming out of her rack. She's so square in her loin. She opens up into a big white thin set, got a tremendous lower leg. Again, a stout made view, maybe not quite as neat chested as some of them, but when you combine again that kind of muscle and that kind of stoutness, I think she's still profiles extremely good. She's very balanced. And then I think we have another couple of lambs here, the young lady here in the pink and the next young lady right behind her. I think both those sheep are in the hunt here. I think both of them extremely good in terms of their front 1/3, both of them good in their chest floor, both of them good in terms of the body and their levelness out the hip. I think it's very close between those. I will tell you this, that I think there's one that, again, I think is very unique, and not just unique in terms of being out there, but I think, again, puts so many good things together. I guess the uniqueness about this particular one is when you look and see how wide-chested and how square to the ground in the front 1/3 this sheep is, and then you analyze this sheep and you see how good bodied he is, or she is, I certainly think that makes this sheep unique. Congratulations to these exhibitors, and I'll go select your reserve.
So, announce.
Can we please have the champion and reserve from the White Face Weather Dam U please report to ringside for the Supreme round?
for a while. Some of them have just been banded, not maybe in the last couple, 3 weeks. They've been through a lot of stress here, so it throws them off just a little bit. But I think the ewe lamb has a lot of quality to her as well. She's pretty cool today. She's ate well. That's a good thing when you come to a show like that. If you visualize her just a little bit emptied out, I think, again, she's similar to the class winner. She's got great muscle shape. Maybe just gets a little tighter coming out of her shoulder into her body and her rib there. That's probably where I change her, freshen her up. But again, those are all stress factors to a degree. When we talk about sheep that have been here since last night and they're all relatively young out here. We get to our next sheep, it's going to be third. You got to like some things about this particular sheep. A really good heighted sheep and one that's got some muscle shape, one that's elevated through the front end. Certainly gets tighter in the flank, and again, I think those are things that come with the cutting and come with the stress of hauling. He's a little flatter on his back pasterns than I'd like to see. I'd like to drop him in his flank, but again, I think that's a sheep that has some future. The muscular sheep is here in fourth, the one that's got great shape, great groove down his top. You can definitely tell the sheep's got the muscularity. He's just going to get more muscular the older that he gets. Today, for me, he's a little bolder in his shoulder, a little tighter in his rib, and just not quite as smooth looking as the sheep are standing in front of him today. But again, I think with some time on feed and an opportunity, I think that sheep becomes an extremely heavy muscle sheep, one that just needs to smooth out somewhat. Really smooth made sheep here that comes in fifth in terms of an outline. When you get off and you look at this weather, he's neat made in terms of the skeletal quality. He's not cooperating today. Again, I think he's one that maybe has a good future. He's going to have to come with maybe just a little more stoutness in terms of his muscle work, but again, and he's going to have to get a little better at showing, but I think that'll come with some time as well. Congratulations to these exhibitors.